Namaste.
Pranam.
We have been discussing the fundamental technique of dance with special reference to Kathak, and our point of reference has been the Natya Shastra. We have discussed Abhinayas, Dharmis and Vrittis, but not in great detail. Rather, we have learnt the 8 Natya Rasas, their corresponding bhavas, and also the Vaishnavite bhavas in detail. In this episode, we will discuss Abhinayas, Dharmis and Vrittis. You already know the names of the 4 Abhinayas. You will hear the shlok from the Natya Shastra first, a shlok that you are also familiar with, and then after that I will ask you to name the 4 Abhinayas. The shlok on the Abhinaya.
Angiko vachikascheva aharya Sattvikastatha Chattara Abhinaya Jete Vijnanatya Sangshraya.
So there are 4 Abhinayas, as learned people tell us, and the Natya Shastra also tells us. So can you name the 4 Abhinayas?
Angika,
Bachik,
Aharya, Satvik.
So Angik from Anga or the body and the parts thereof, Vachik from words, Aharya from that which has been acquired like costumes, ornaments, makeup, sets, and finally Satvik. Satvik emanates from within us, from our energy and our feelings and our mind. Bhava and Rasa are directly connected with Satvik Abhinaya. And we also discussed the meaning of the word Abhinaya. It means communicating. We are carrying across something. So when we are carrying across ideas through our body, it is Angik. When we are carrying ideas across to the audience through words, it is Vachik. Through Aharya or costumes, ornaments and sets, it is Aharya Abhinay. And then finally, what emanates from within us, from our inner energy, from our minds, when that is carried across, and it is usually done through Bhava, this is called Satvik Abhinaya. Now, the body is divided into 6 parts. Again, that is divided into 6 parts. So, Anga, Pratyanga and Upanga. Then, Vajan is also of various kinds. It can be in a stylized language like Sanskrit. It can be in a language ordinarily used by people. In earlier days, Prakrit. Nowadays, it can be Hindi or any regional language or dialect. Then Aharya depends on what character you're portraying, what costumes and ornaments you're wearing. And of course, Sattvic we have discussed in our general discussions of Bhav, Vibhav, Anubhav and Rasa. Now we will deal with the Angik in detail in the next episode, as it requires one episode to itself. Now we will learn about Dharmis and Vrittis. I also told you about the Dharmis before. Listen to the line on the Dharmis from the Natya Shastra, and that will help you to remember, which I am sure you can remember even without the shlok. But after hearing the shlok, you will tell me about the two Dharmis.
Lokadharmi, Natyadharmi, Dharmi to Dvividha Smrita.
So which are the two Dharmis?
Lokadharmi and Natyadharmi.
Yes. So these are two modes of dramatic presentation. One is Lokadharmi. In Lokadharmi, the actions, words, movements are all very close to actions of people in their everyday lives. In Kathak, we have a great deal of Lokadharmi Abhinaya. If you think of the Gat Bhava that you learned in the foundation course, Makhan Chori, the action of churning butter, then the little boys who come along with Krishna, their play, their naughtiness, all resemble actions of ordinary human beings. So this is Lokadharmi. But again, in dance, we do have a certain degree of stylization. Even in Lokadharmi Abhinaya, we try to make it a little more beautiful than ordinary life. For instance, when you're adorning yourself, you wear the earrings, the bindi. These all resemble ordinary actions, but they are a little stylized. You wouldn't be using this mudra when wearing your earring, or you wouldn't use the Hamsasya mudra to show your necklace. But again, the actions can easily be identified. Words too in Lokadharmi Abhinaya are close to the language of ordinary people. In Natyadharmi Abhinaya, there is a lot of stylization. A great deal of importance is given to mudras. And in fact, mudras depict a number of ideas. And if you do not know these mudras and their meanings, you might not be able to follow everything. The words too are sometimes in Sanskrit, that in very ornate language. The actions are also stylized. They may have come, the idea might have come from ordinary life, but they are sophisticated, refined, stylized, and a little removed from everyday life. So we have Lokadharmi and Natyadharmi. But in every dance style, as practiced in India today, especially the classical dance styles, we have a combination of the Lokadharmi and the Natyadharmi. In some dance styles, the Natyadharmi is presented more often, but in Kathak, we are heavily dependent on Lokadharmi Abhinaya, which does have touches of stylization on Natyadharmi. We show actions of ordinary human beings, even lovers when they are moving around amongst the woods by the riverside. We show Radha fetching water, sprinkling water on herself, then the way she is looking out for Krishna, then Krishna taking a little pebble and throwing at Radha. All these are actions that you would find in the villages even today. But the stylization does exist. Now, there are 4 styles of dramatic presentation. These are called Vrittis. We had discussed this and we will discuss it in greater detail during this episode. In chapter 8 of the Natya Shastra, we have details of the Dharmis and the Vrittis, but here they are not analyzed to a great extent. They are mentioned and maybe they are touched on. So let us hear the shloka from chapter 8 of the Natya Shastra regarding the Vrittis.
Bharati Satvati Cheva Kaishiki Arvati Tatha Chatasro Vrittayo Jeta Yasunatyam Pratishtitam.
So, in the presentation of dance dramas, we find 4 major styles of presentation. They are
Bharati, Satvati, Kaishaki, and Arvati.
right. Bharati, Satvati, Kaishiki and Arabhati. Now in chapter 22 of the Natya Shastra, we have details regarding each vritti. First, we will hear the shloka describing the Bharati vritti.
Ya Vak Pradhana Purusha Prayojya Stri Varjita Sanskrita Pathya Yukta Swanamadheir Bharatai Prayukta Sa Bharati Nama Bhavetu Vritti.
So in Bharati vritti, there is an emphasis on the spoken words. Then men usually take part in this style of presentation. Women are not present. Sanskrit is generally the medium, and well-known actors take part in Bharati presentations. Let us hear the different phrases so that you can identify Bharati vritti.
Ya Vak Pradhana,
Where words are of prime importance. Vak Pradhana.
Purusha Prayojya,
Where men take part.
Stri Varjita,
Where women are not present.
Sanskrita Pathayukta,
Where Sanskrit is the medium of presentation.
Swanamadheyair Bharatai Prajukta.
Bharat means actor, so where well-known actors or established actors take part. So this is a very stylized presentation in which well-known actors speak in Sanskrit and where the language is very important. The stress is more on the language and the spoken word, and where men take part and women do not feature. So this is Bharati Vritti. Then we come to the next Vritti, which is Satvati. We will hear the shloka from the Natya Shastra.
सात्वत अस्तु विधानं लक्षणयुक्ता प्रवक्ष्यामि या सात्वतेनेह गुणेन युक्ता न्यायेन वृत्तेन समन्विता च हर्षोत्कटा संहृत शोकभावा सा सात्वती नाम भवेत्तु वृत्ति.
Satvati Vritti is more energetic. It is full of life. There is a lot of happiness and there is very little of sadness. There is energy, there is an order, and it is full of vitality. That is Satvati Vritti. Let us hear the distinguishing features of Satvati Vritti once more.
या सात्वते नेह गुणेन युक्ता.
That which is full of vitality and energy.
न्यायेन वृत्तेन समन्विता च.
That which is connected with the qualities of vitality.
Harshottkata,
where there is a lot of happiness and joy.
Sanhrita shokabhava,
where sorrow is absent. When these features are found in a dramatic presentation, then we say that the style of presentation is the Satvati style. Now we come to a very beautiful and romantic style of presentation, which is Kaishiki Vritti. We will first hear the shloka from the Natya Shastra.
Kaishiki asthiha lakshanamata parang sampravakshyami yas lakshana nepatya vishesha chitra stri sanyuta ja bahunrita gita काम उपभोग प्रभवोपचारा तांकैशिकिं वृत्तिमुदाहरन्ति.
Where there is beauty in verse, in presentation, in actions, when there is romance, the beauty of women. In fact, women feature in an important way in Kaishiki. When there is an abundance of songs and dance, then we call this style of presentation Kaishiki. Let us hear the relevant phrases.
नेपथ्य विशेष चित्रा.
When there are beautiful images associated with the presentation.
स्त्री संयुता.
When women feature in an important way, although it is just said Stri Sangyuta, but actually the latent meaning is that many women feature in this style of presentation.
बहुनृत्य गीता.
There is an abundance of dance and songs.
काम उपभोग प्रभवोपचारा.
When the actions and the movements are associated with love and romance. Then we have Kaishiki Vritti. And now we come to the final, the fourth Vritti, which is Arabhati Vritti. We will first hear the shloka.
Atayurdhamudhatarasam Arabhatim Sampravakshyami Arabhata Prayagoda Tathaiva Bahuvanchana Kapatopeta Dambhanrita Vachanavati Tvarabhati Nama Begya.
Where there is a lot of display of pride, vanity, cunning, deceit, and also energy, then we say that this style of presentation is the Arabhati style. We will analyze the phrases.
Arabhata Prayaguna.
Where there is vanity and slight deceit, Arabhata qualities.
Vahuvanchana.
Where there is cunning.
Kapatopeta.
Deceit is present.
Dambhanrita Vachanavati.
Where there is vanity in words as well.
Bhigya.
So all these are present in the Arabhati Vritti. Now, there are certain rasas which are associated with the Vrittis. Now, with Kaishiki Vritti, the associated rasas are Shringar and Hasya. Then, with Bharati Vritti, Karun and Adbhut are associated. With Satvati Vritti, we have Veer and Adbhut. And with Arabhati, we have Bhayanak, Veer and Rautra. Then again, Bharat tells us that each Vritti is influenced by one Veda. Bharati by Rig Veda, Satvati by Yajurveda, Kaishiki by Samaveda, and Arabhati by Atharva Veda. But these are the 4 styles of dramatic presentation that existed at the time when the Natya Shastra was composed. One where you had stylized, usually Sanskritic speech, where it was a very sort of a learned display of drama, where men featured. This was the Bharati. Satvati, in which there was much more of action than words, where there was a lot of energy, valor. This is the Satvati. Then when there was romance, beauty, women playing important roles, that is the Kaishiki. And then when there was deceit, cunning, vanity, and even magic, something that was a little crooked in a way, that style of presentation. I mean, the style of presentation was not crooked, but the subject matter was. I mean, it wasn't a very saintly presentation of subjects. This is called Arabhati. In this lesson, we have learnt details about the 2 dharmis, Lok Dharmi, that which is realistic and natural, Natya Dharmi, that which is stylized and dramatic. We have learnt the 4 Vrittis, Bharati, Satvati, Kaishiki, and Arabhati. I am sure you have enjoyed the lesson. In the next episode, we will learn, or rather we will discuss the 4 Abhinayas in greater detail. I mean, we have already started discussing the Abhinayas, but what has not been touched on, we will deal with in greater detail. So I wish you all the best. Do enjoy your dance and do know a lot about the technique. Thank you. Namaste.